everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Screen Chronicles. I am Steve, and with me, as always, is my faithful companion, Colb Stone. How are you doing today?
Doing great. We're working through The Witcher here, season 2. Today, we're coming at you with episode 3 of season 2 talk here. Mostly going to be a spoiler talk today. We're going to get into it here in a second.
So, spoiler alert, everyone, for The Witcher season 2 up to episode 3. We're not going into anything after 3. We have seen more now. I'm up to like 6 here now.
Yeah.
But we're not going to take on any of that. There might be spoilers for season 1 as well as some of the books that are part of the series to this point.
Sure.
And maybe the video game, maybe Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, maybe some stuff there, kind of just me comparing stuff to it. But otherwise, if you like this video or the podcast, whatever you're watching or listening to on, make sure you follow, like, subscribe us, and give some support here and let us know.
Give us your money.
But give us your support, and let us know too what you think about our episode talks here for The Witcher season 2. And otherwise, Colby, why don't you tell us just generally what you thought about episode 3 here?
First of all, I think we need to mention that these next 2 episodes 3 and 4, are directed by Sarah O'Gorman.
Our girl.
Yes. So she came onto the podcast to discuss her work on our favorite show, The Last Kingdom, last year at some point. And look, she is a very talented director. She has done work now. She was the first female director on The Last Kingdom. And the 2 episodes she did were probably the 2 best episodes in the whole season.
Absolutely. Those were hands down my favorite
episodes 3 and 4. Yeah. And one of the best Last Kingdom battles.
Yes.
And now I think Witcher must have a much higher budget than The Last Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets to work with that. She did some solid work in Cursed.
I would say out of all the episodes of Cursed, the 2 she directed were my favorite.
I would agree. I think they were the last 2. Yeah.
I think the best performances from some of the characters that we disliked and we just thought were over the top, like, were the best in those 2 episodes. And
totally.
We didn't even know it, I think, till after, or maybe we knew before.
I think we knew, but
we knew she directed, but I don't think I was like looking for what episode number I was on and if she directed or not. But anyway, I liked episode 3 and Sarah O'Gorman. If you haven't listened to our talk with her or watched her listen to it, make sure you checked out. It's linked right here in the video.
Yes. She's a super awesome person. And she was so kind, taking the time to talk to us. So without further ado, let's jump a little bit more into this episode. And look, we left off in the last episode. Geralt was starting to train Ciri, and he's upgraded that by getting her a sack of straw that she could whack at. And look, she struggles against this sack of straw. Like, she's like a couple hits and then she falls over. And I'm just like, it's like, dang, that's one tough sack of straw that she's fighting.
One tough sack of straw. You're one tough sack of straw. You know that?
Yeah.
It's funny too, like, gives her like some good like training insight too. He's like, you don't want to overtrain. It won't allow your muscles to heal and grow stronger. And I mean, he doesn't say that, but he says, I think, what does he say? He says, anything else you do today will be doing more damage, or it's not going to benefit you anymore.
Look, the overall thing with Ciri is that she does not want to quit. She doesn't want to stop training. She's so motivated. And basically what happens in this episode is that Lambert sees Ciri whacking away at this dummy, and he kind of starts, making fun of her, mocking her. Like, I guess what you told me about Lambert is that is his personality.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, he is a good person, right? Like, he does want her to succeed, is kind of like maybe the gist I was getting, but he's just kind of a tough love kind of guy.
Yeah.
And what he does is like, oh, you're not ready for true Witcher training. Like, that's not for you. And she's all like, yes, it is. And he like goes up and takes his real sword and slashes through. Like, I'll show you what Witchers do. And then I was thinking like, okay, but she was hitting it with a wooden sword.
I know, right?
But that's not what he was trying to prove.
How was she going to cut through that with a wooden sword?
I know.
He's just like, look what a real sword can do.
Yeah.
Look what a sharp metal one can
I was
do.
just like, ooh.
To these harmless sticks.
But I was like, that's not actually what he basically was showing. Like, this is not the way. Like, we're just gonna destroy this so you can't whack at it anymore, because this is not how we train.
I'm sure it was also difficult, I'm sure it was to some degree. But I mean, if you're going like wooden sword 12-year-old girl versus 30-year-old man with enhanced abilities and a steel sword, I think it's probably gonna cut.
At first, that's what I thought he was doing. I thought he was just trying to show her how much better he was than her or something. Like, this is a Witcher. But no, he was actually just trying to like be like, let's just not do this. Let's do this. But it reminded me of the South Park at the ski resort where the kids are just learning how to ski.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one?
Yeah. Tell me where you're going though. Is it because I just remember like they're like the pizza,
French fries.
That's it.
Something. Pizza, French fries, and they're just learning first time how to ski. And there's this like older, experienced skier with his posse, and Stan Marsh is somehow targeted by him, and he comes up and he's like, "Oh, you think you're better than me, Stan Darsh? Oh, well, I guess we're gonna have to race it out later. We'll see you on the slopes, bro." And he's just being a total dick to him. But he's just so much older and better at skiing.
Like, it's not his first time.
And then they have the competition with each other, and he's just like the guy experienced. He's just going super fast down, and Stan's just like, pizza, French fries, and he's going so slow. But the guy will stop and cut the tree down. He's like, this'll slow him down. But anyway, that's not what was going on with Lambert. Lambert was just like, done with this sack of straw. Let me show you, if you really want to know, how we train. And they go to this American Ninja Warrior course. That
way sent me the snap on American Ninja Warrior.
Series first attempt here. Can she beat the record time?
That's it. And like the first bit of it, I was thinking like, oh, this is like more of just like an obstacle. But then the rest of the way through, I was like, this is American Ninja Warrior. Like, she had to hold on to like metal things and swing, and then she had to like rock this platform and jump. I was like, this is American Ninja Warrior. This is American Ninja Warrior in the snow with 2x4s. This is what it is.
But she starts this. It is a pretty cool thing. And the first thing is like swinging like pendulum clubs that she has to like get through, and she just gets socked by the second one, and she's down for the count. And Lambert says something to her, and at this point I thought like he was just trying to prove his point, like, stop trying to become one of us. That's what I thought he was doing.
Yeah
And they cut scene there too, so I thought like, oh, she's gonna give up because it was so hard. But I was wrong, because they cut back, and every time they cut back, she does like a little bit better. She still gets knocked off. And they got to that one part where it's like 3 like horizontal spinning spike things. Like, and I was just like looking at it, like, how the hell? What are you supposed to do to get past that?
What are you supposed to do?
But you know what she did to get past it when she finally did?
The Matrix.
You know move? It reminded me of the Matrix, but it also reminded me of that move Luke Skywalker did in episode 8.
Oh, the bad one. Yeah.
The bad movie. But the
bad
movie. Sweet. The move he used when he wasn't really hit there. You remember which one I'm talking about?
I know when he
like, it looked
Kylo
sweet.
Ren, because he wasn't able to hit the lightsaber together, so he just ducked out of
ducked, and it looked sweet.
It did look sweet, but it was also like like.
But he would have gotten through that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she Matrixed that.
Astral projection of Luke easily could have gone through that course.
He could have walked through it.
Astral projection Luke would have killed that course.
I know. But anyway, so she gets through it, and it just these, I love these type of training things. It reminds me of a Star Wars like training build up, a Rocky training build up, or even like the Dark Knight. It reminded me of Dark Knight Rises when it means rise.
It means rise.
Because they're all watching her and like she's just growing as a young warrior here. It's pretty cool. And I just love Ciri and how determined she is. But kind of going back to the point that you were talking about, that's where Geralt kind of pulls her aside and he has a talk with her, like, because she went through the whole course at one point. She like made it through everything. She like jumped and like grabbed the things, and she had one thing. She just had to land on a huge platform.
She had to land on the platform and
that's
just
all she had to do.
Down the steps.
She dodged the crazy spiky thingies. She like climbed with her hands on these ledges. She rocked the boat to get to the things, and then all she had to do was jump on a platform,
dismount.
And she couldn't dismount.
And her legs just crumbled. She didn't have any eccentric control at that point.
I know,
and she fell off.
But that's when he talks to her, and he's like, "Look, you're not a witcher. We get hurt. We can."
He said, "You put us in a cart and you fill it up with lotus leaves and buckrash tonic and I don't know. So I'm making up stuff.
And we're better.
You put us with some potions and we'll be fine.
But you're not like that. So like you need to
crack your head. You're dead.
Yeah. He has that talk with her.
And I think she says like I'm not afraid to do it or something like that.
I want to be the best I'm not, or something.
I want to do it. He's like, but you don't have to.
Yeah. At some point, I think it's this episode. He goes like, she says something, and he's like, I knew a lot of people who said that too.
Oh yeah,
now, where they all are now.
Best. I want to be a perfect fighter or the best fighter or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like, I knew a lot of people who said that. Where they all are now, in cemeteries.
Geralt with the wisdom.
Geralt with the wisdom. And he's the other guys are kind of like pushing her.
You know what? That's what I did like though, because Lambert, again, from like the books and the games, he always is kind of more of an asshole to people. But that's he's just sort of a defensive person.
Yeah.
And insecure, but like he cares. But so it was cool to see them by the end. But yeah, that's what he was really doing. He was just trying to. That's how he knows how to motivate people. That's how he knows how to interact.
I've had coaches like that.
Yeah,
I think that are like, I've had other coaches who are nicer and like more positive reinforcement. Then I've had coaches who like are that rough style.
Mm-hmm. And like she responded well to it too. I mean, she kept going because of that,
and she got better.
Yeah. And then they were genuinely happy with her. For how well she was doing. But then it was also kind of cool though, like how you mentioned she technically didn't finish because she didn't dismount and walk down. She landed on the platform, but because her legs gave out, she fell off.
Right.
And instead of them saying, "Oh, good job, you made it," it's just a technicality, you didn't finish all the way through. The first thing Geralt says is, "So close," you didn't get it. That's what they said. Like it was them saying you didn't get it. We're not going to applaud you. You didn't finish. Right. Even though you literally
just needed to dismount,
touch the finish line. You didn't break
all
the ribbon.
The hard parts.
Yeah, you did. You did all the hard stuff.
When I was watching that, I was just like, "Oh, like come on, like you were there,
just right there. Just roll over some. Just like you land and you roll at least, and you just you fall on the platform. She fell off." But
I was like, what the heck?
But I thought that was cool though, because they're like, we're not going to just give this to you, Ciri. So that was I really liked that. While this was all going on, Vesemir had Eskel's body, was dissecting. He was trying to do an autopsy to figure out like how the hell did this happen? Like we've never had a Leshen. And again, they call it Leshy in the show. I know Leshen from the games. So if I say Leshen, you're just gonna have to deal with the people.
Yeah, come on. Like, what's wrong with you?
Deal with it. Come on, Steve. But anyway, so he's trying to do an autopsy, and Geralt's like, we just need to lay him to rest. And they take him to this cave then, and it looks like they did strip away most of the tree stuff though on him, and they put him down, and it was this really cool Witcher funeral thing where Vesemir sort of showed some emotion, and then they just get up and they're like, all right, the wolves are here, and like just these wolves come in and they just leave, and I guess they were just like, that's their ceremony, that the wolves eat their dead fallen comrades, I guess. So I don't know how I felt about that.
I
don't know, because I'm like, it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of like disrespectful, it's just like it's not like to me, you put someone on a funeral pyre, their body is there and the fire just burns it. You bury him, body, you put him there. I mean, his shoulder could be taken over to a different spot. His face is gonna be mushed in, and like it's not like a clean thing for me versus like burnt or put in the ground. So I think that's something from the show. I mean, again, if that's something from the books, I don't know about it. I've stopped like halfway through Blood of Elves after Last Wish. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I thought it was kind of weird. Like, oh, you're just gonna let him eat it. But hey, it's the culture. Hey. Listen, I'm not gonna listen.
Culture.
Who am I?
Who are you?
Who am I to?
Who are you? I'm walking here.
I'm walking. Oh my god, dude! In episode 7, I can't tell you. Have you seen episode 7 yet?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna watch that one next.
Okay, I'll just real quick. There's a part in it where like a part of the castle gets like split all of a sudden, and a guard happened to be walking there, like when it did, and that's all I could hear. Like I didn't send you a video because you hadn't seen it, but I was just like, "Hey, I'm walking here." We'll talk about that. Let's make a mental note to do that bit.
We'll definitely do that.
Episode 7 talk. Okay.
We'll definitely do it.
I'm walking here.
Yeah, I'm walking here, Castle. What was it? But anyway, also too, if you're wondering, I don't know if they ever explained this too with the Witcher medallions, but the wolf and why they have a wolf on their medallions is because they are the school of the wolf, and there are other different before. I don't know in this world if there's other Witcher factions still alive, at least in the games, which again take place after the books. There was some other remnants of other Witcher schools, or at least some other Witchers from other schools. But so they were the school of the wolf is what they went by, and like there was other schools like the bear, cat, and griffin. So that's where you would be.
Hey, there was a griffin?
There's a griffin one.
Hey, love it.
So that's, I think, the Witcher medallion. So I don't know if that's what they were in the show people, the showrunners here, if they were like, let's throw in some Witcher and some wolf stuff here, cool, to sort of give it some extra stuff behind that. And they also call like Geralt the White Wolf because he's from the wolf school and he's got the white hair because he's the only one who went through some extra mutations.
My thing though is that like Game of Thrones also had the wolf connection.
Yeah.
But those wolves wouldn't have eaten their companions.
They're big dire wolves too. They wouldn't have done that.
You think they would have eaten
No, I don't think they would.
Starks?
No way.
It's like kind of where I thought, like, I was surprised that they ate the fallen guy because, like, I don't know. I guess I saw them as like together, like they respected. I don't know.
I think they kind of look at it more as, the world is hard and it sucks.
Yeah,
and
true.
So your burial is going to be terrible and shitty, and the wolves are just going to fucking eat you. I think it's kind of like the symbolism for that. They're just hard people, and they just accept it. Is what I think. It's
okay.
That was,
okay, fair enough.
Was the same.
Fair enough. Again, who am I to judge that culture?
Who are you?
I'm just
back on with the Ciri and Geralt story though. After he does tell Ciri about people in cemeteries who were the greatest fighters. He sees something in the wall. He sees like some branches coming through, and then he sees, I think it was this like dress or cloth or something from either Queen Calanthe or Ciri's mother or something like that.
Right.
And I was like, why is that up in there? And Ciri too has been having these visions even since season 1, and has been feeling. She saw Geralt and Tissaia calling for Yennefer at the Battle of Sodden Hill. Before that happened, she saw Yennefer before she ever met her, and now she's having these other dreams and stuff of like the forest flashing and that sort of thing. And so Geralt is sort of picking up on like, oh, she is someone who is she's got something else going on. This is not just like dreams. There's something going on. And he also notices this cloth he pulls out with the roots. He ties that and he's like, oh, did these roots bring this here? And oh yeah, it was the arm. I think the arm from the Leshen that Eskel said he killed when he first showed back up at Kaer Morhen in episode 2. So Geralt's just like, maybe she knows, like maybe she's having a vision of where this is at, and maybe the Leshen's reaching out to her for some reason. Again, this is a different Leshen. These Leshens didn't infect people and make them like parasitic before. And
that's something else they discover in this episode when they're dissecting it, is that it's got this sort of material in it that like they hadn't seen or something in a while. It's like new. I don't know if they make the connection that this has something to do with her, but
they're starting to draw some sort of coincidences here.
Yeah, but what they know is like this, whatever this is not something they've dealt with before. It's new, which is definitely an intimidating thought to Geralt. But you're right. He's picking up on Ciri and that she must have something going on with this bitch and something going on with her. He basically talks to her about it. And I think she says something like feeling something pulling her. And he's just like, let's follow that intuition. And they do.
And he brings like this new sweet armor too.
Oh, I love that armor.
Didn't you just want to wear that? I was like, I would wear it to like fucking Walmart or something.
Yeah. just in case you come across a new breed of Leshy.
Yeah. Come across a new breed or whatever the next thing is.
Whatever it is. It might not be a Leshy actually, but
but they run into the Leshen in the forest. And
this is crazy
that it doesn't have an arm. And I remember seeing in the trailer like this Leshen and all the branches from it coming out. And if you played the games, a Leshen is a very hard creature to fight. In fact, I think like one of the first times I was just running through the woods and I didn't realize there was other higher levels of creatures that I wasn't ready to fight yet. Like the Leshen, I think was like the first thing that just killed me with like one hit. And I was like, oh shit, I'm not ready to fight this thing. So I was like, oh damn, in the trailer, I was like, that's going to be a sick, big old fight when they finally fight that Leshen. And it starts out like that. And we even see like the thing pulls Ciri on the ground in the same way that she had this vision of it doing to her earlier.
Right.
So,
and there's just so many of these roots reaching for him. It's just like, how is he going to fight all of those off?
But he gets in and he does the trademark. He heats up the sword and you're like, oh, he's ready to go in for the kill. And then all of a sudden, just this giant, ugly praying mantis, I don't know, monster, bear, man pig just starts to.
It just like you said of how hard it was to kill a Leshy in the game. This thing just splits into it like it's nothing. It's just like, bam. And he like splits it in half.
It was a weird creature. Look, here's a picture of it. Look how gross it is. And
but I was also thinking, like, wait a minute. So he can kill the Leshy, but otherwise the Witchers can't kill it unless they make the sword fire. So
I think
I thought about that. Like, because it's not like this thing. You remember?
Well, yeah, but I think you can kill it without the fire in the heart. I think that's just the easy
easiest
to go
way.
away.
Okay.
I think it's just like that's the most effective way from the bestiaries, because in the game too is the fire. Like you didn't heat up your sword and do it. You did Igni on it. You're just like fire, and
that's how you killed the Leshen.
Yeah, and you'd put like a Leshen.
So Eskel never played the freaking games.
Eskel has not played the game at all. That's why I was just like, Eskel, you didn't even use Igni. You didn't even use Igni.
That's ignorant.
That's ignorant.
That's ignorant.
So yeah, you can just kill it with your sword. It's just going to be a lot harder. So I think I don't think you broke any rules, unless the show is saying that the only way you can kill it is fire through the heart. Then it did.
Right. This turned to
human hands on the stomach.
Yeah.
And
its face was crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah. And but it went after Ciri.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing. It was interesting. And she ran away. She was basically run away. She was basically on her own, it seemed. And she was like hiding under a rock, didn't hear anything for a little bit. And then she got up, and sure enough, this creature was there looking for her, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And as it had her cornered, basically. That's when, just in the nick of time, Geralt jumps down and pretty badass, like slice through.
That was sweet.
Yeah. Again, I have to say the CGI effects in this episode were top notch again.
Yeah.
It
all looked good.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking too, we talked about Stereo Gorman. I mean, it's like, wow, like this is a pretty epic thing to direct.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of set and models did you need to use to execute this? Because this beast was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Big.
He's giant. He's as tall as the Leshen, which is like, I don't know, 10, 20 feet tall.
Yeah, because you got to think about, you need the actors like angles, like they need to be looking the right way. Everything looked good. Mm-hmm. Everything looked really good for the CGI effect.
It kind of hesitated too when it was like coming at her, which was, again, it was like, what's going on with that? And but Geralt's just like, I'm just gonna kill it, and then we'll be done.
Right.
So yeah, that's I think that's pretty much where they end, right?
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah. And he like commends her too.
Yeah.
About being brave at the end of that, and
yeah, he gives some props to
give some kudos
to her.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, also during all of this time, Yennefer had made it back to Aretuza,
right,
where the Brotherhood of mages and all the other sorceresses are together. Right. And one of the big things,
Tissaya's there.
Yeah, Tissaia. So, and they all thought she was dead, so they're all very happy.
Yeah, the entrance too was like, there was like, oh, now we gotta bury 14 mages, and she walks in, she's like 13
bitches.
She did a little of that. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm really enjoying Yennefer though.
Oh yeah, season. Me too.
Like,
me
just
too.
How because she is sassy in the books and the games, and then sometimes it's kind of annoying. And I would say she was kind of more of a bitch in season 1. And this one though, she's just, I don't know, entertaining to me. I don't know how else to say it.
Totally.
I'm really enjoying it. And because like another thing that happens is later on, Stregobor, then the mage, if you remember, is from season 1, the one who tried to hire Geralt to kill Renfri, and who was
He's
also
that guy from Sherlock too.
Oh yeah, creepy guy,
the one with the glasses. Yeah,
and good actor,
really good at playing like a bad character,
the
guy you're not supposed to like too.
Mm-hmm. And he is not happy to see Yennefer because it's like, well, everyone thought you were dead, then you were captured by Nilfgaard, and now you're just back here, and we're just supposed to trust you.
You a spy? So legitimate concerns.
It is a legitimate concern. He doesn't go about it the right way though. He just sort of ambushes her and probes into her mind, and then
he goes with the deep friction
the deep
cranial massage,
deep cranial massage,
the deep,
the DCM,
the deep, temporal lobe massage,
deep temporal. Yeah, you were telling us about this technique in our last episode.
Yes,
how effective it is.
Mm-hmm. And he,
but
and
the
he
thing is, though, in this, he was like in her mind, doing this in her mind. Like, you know what I mean? Like he touched her arm in a hallway, and then they were then in her head in this room with her chained up. You know, like they weren't actually in that room. They were still in the hallway in real life. But then in that space in her mind, then he was
then
like
he did the
probing
thing
into her mind. So I was like,
it's weird.
Are you really doing anything?
Inception.
Witcher.
Inceptioning her. Which is more of a myofascial technique where no, but then Tissaia comes in is like, she has contraindications.
Everyone's listening like, I don't get these PT jokes. I
know. We got to stop with the PT jokes.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Okay, we might have like one or two PT listeners who are just laughing hysterically
like, right contraindication.
Now. Oh. No, they're just chuckling. Ha, I get it. You know.
Oh, good.
Even the PTs are weak jokes, so we will digress with the PT jokes, people. We apologize.
But during this time though, I was kind of like, why is she not able to fight him off though? Because she's like so powerful. And I was like, this is kind of like, why is she letting him do this? And I was like, maybe he's just really powerful. But then Tissaia like pushes him away, and I was like, why didn't she just do that? And we later find out then when Tissaia, because then Stregobor gets confronted by then the rest of the council, and they're just like, this is one of our own. You were doing this is bad. And he says, maybe what I did is wrong. Maybe she's not a bad person, but she, was with the Nilfgaardians, and she's here, and I saw that she was with them, and now she's just back, and we're supposed to trust her. Like, come on, like, we need a check.
We need a show. We need a show of loyalty.
We need a show of loyalty,
of allegiance.
And then it comes up that in the prisoner that they still have, Cahir, they're like, well, you kill him, and then we'll know that you are loyal to us. Yennefer doesn't want to do this, though. She's just like, I don't want to just behead someone for no reason. And Tissaia goes to her, and she brings up why Yennefer wasn't fighting off. And she says, you don't have powers anymore. Tell them that. And you're just like, oh, damn. And that's what's going on. And that's why Yennefer was having that vision when she was in the cabin, of her being afraid, not doing her powers again, and being difficult in school. And that's what's going on. And one of the other things too, sort of tying that back in to it too, is just like all of the sorceresses, especially the younger ones, mages, who survived the battle Sodden Hill. If you know from the books, they always reference it like it's just like this terrible thing that happened to them, and it did. It was very traumatic for them. If you remember, what's her name? I forget her name, but the one mage, she was like controlled by that earworm thingy from Fringilla, and she was the one that like sort of attacked them while they were in the fort. She sort of made it happen so that Nilfgaardians could come in. So she had that happen to her. Triss was holding off the gates. She had made this tree thing, and this guy just walks up and just burns her and walks over her after magic crumbles. So, I mean, it was really traumatic for all of them. And that's like one thing you get the feel of when they're all together.
Also, I think it's worth mentioning that Stregobor also brought up the whole fire thing. He did like this whole story about like another mage who like set fire to stuff and like was comparing it to Yennefer or something to like try to convince people that she was bad or that she could lead to destruction.
Yeah. Stregobor's not a fan of Yennefer. No. And also too, getting back to the women though too, Triss now has red hair, which I am happy about. Because that's big from the games, and not just the games, but the books even. That's a big part of just like how she's described as red hair. So that's like one thing from some season one. I love Triss. I love the actress who played her. But I was like, I wish they just gave her like even just like a reddish tint. And that now they're just like full red.
Right.
And I'm just like, all right, cool. And but the thing is, they can change their appearances. So I don't know if that's something from the books though. I don't know if she was not redhead and then she went redhead, with her powers, kind of like how Yennefer went from Hunchback in Notre Dame to Mia Khalifa knockoff. So
Mia Khalifa knockoff.
So that's that. I like that. And then the other thing is, they all sort of get in this bath and they heat it up. And I was just like, I would do anything.
Oh my God.
I would do anything. I would do anything to be in that bath.
They're going to have this execution ceremony. And Yennefer is walking with Cahir. And they get there. It's a pretty big ordeal. And the guy, we should find his name, who plays Sigibrit from The Last Kingdom.
Oh, yeah. Shit, he's the king of Rodania, I think.
Yeah.
In this. Shit, I didn't pick up on that.
King Vizimir is there, played by Ed Birch, who we've seen in The Last Kingdom. He plays a smaller role in The Last Kingdom, but he plays Sigibrit, who is an interesting character in season 3. So familiar face, which is cool to see. Very cool to see.
He survived that spear from Canute, I guess. And
then he became king of this land. So
he became king of Redania, yeah.
Yeah, exactly what happened.
Of course, and then King Foltest is there too, the guy, if you remember, from season 1 of The Witcher, who had the sister that he fell in love with, and then he had this kid that got cursed by this other guy and all that crazy stuff. So he's kind of a shady guy too, as a king there. But yeah, having it's a very elaborate ceremony for a beheading.
I know.
I'll say.
I know.
I was like, why is this guy worth so much time? I guess they just didn't have TV back then, so they were just like, let's make a night of this beheading,
Right.
Because there's these like giant pyres, like giant fire,
which will prove useful to Yennefer.
Yeah. So she acts like she's gonna behead Cahir, and Cahir, all about the white light and all that stuff. He's like, I'm ready, and she just actually cuts his chains and then just knocks down the flame stands, and they both book it out of there together. So she's going. Her plan is to go off with him to Nilfgaard, which kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, me too. It was a huge whoa.
Because it was like, didn't you just try and fight all the Nilfgaardians? I don't really understand why she didn't just kill him. And
these are the moments I'm confused too. So you're confused by it too?
Yeah, I get that she didn't want to do it, but and she's like, she's going with him because in her head she doesn't have any more safe haven with the mages and stuff. Maybe it's because she doesn't have magic anymore too. I thought maybe that she saw some path that she could get magic this way or something, or she could find. That was my idea. I don't know. Maybe. Again, it wasn't.
If let us know.
Yeah, if you're like,
you have a better
easy answer here, you two dummies,
you stupid idiots,
stupid
Colby and Steve, you
Colbys and Steves, mothers of
fair enough
hamsters.
Fair enough. But anyway, it was they escape, pretty crazy escape, and that's where the episode ends. Mm-hmm. So extremely eventful episode, I must say.
Also, too, Filavandro and the elves are with the Nilfgaardians, and Filavandro's kind of more taking a backseat role for Francesca, and I think she gets pregnant in this one, but then, or she's already pregnant, maybe, and Fringilla, though, is seeming like an ally, but I don't know at this point here. So it's like, what are the Nilfgaardians doing when they're killing everyone else, and then they're taking in the elves? And it turns out they're really looking for probably an army from the elves. Then
that's where we leave off. Let us know what you thought of this episode. We will keep coming out with these episodes until we're done. And anything else to add to this one, Steve?
What do you want to? Let's say, what was your favorite moment from the episode, Colby?
My favorite moment. I think my favorite part of this episode, when I look back, what's most memorable. It's not one moment, but the whole training sequence with Lambert and Siri. I really enjoyed that. I like to see that dynamic grow, and her stubbornness and her toughness and her eagerness to get better, and she never gave up. Yeah. And I like, and kind of going off of that, I really like seeing how Geralt is really a father figure to her, and he brings in this wisdom. So that whole thing in a package is what I loved about this episode. And I just love training stuff in episodes, seeing characters go. It was cool. What about you?
I think that's really good, but mine was the bath.
Yeah.
I mean, just kidding. Or am I? But I would say, it was definitely Ciri and the training with that. There's, again, I think Freya Allen and how they're directing it and stuff. I mean, I think it would have been easy, and I think it could have been a real mistake if they would have got someone who came across as bratty and not stubborn and determined.
She doesn't.
And she doesn't. She comes across as like she wants to self-improve, which is I think is really cool. And I'm just like, you are, when I see her, I'm just like, you're the best choice for Ciri. Like, you're just
agreed.
So well.
Agreed.
Like when Cavill is Geralt and he's doing just great Geralt things, I'm just like, you're just so great as Geralt. And I think the same thing with Freya Allen as Ciri. I definitely think
perfect casting choice,
killing it. But I think those two, I think they're like perfect.
They're perfect. They are perfect. So huge props to Freya Allen again. Because she went through a lot this episode. She got the crap kicked out of her, first by a dummy and then by a huge American Ninja Warrior course.
Her training upgraded very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
Very quick progression. Let us know your favorite moments from the episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on the social media that we have linked down below, and let us know what else you want to hear from us. Otherwise, Colby, it's like we always say.
Always say it. We always say it.
Every time.
Goodbye.